I was in college and I had a classmate, she was from Africa, and I was genuinely concerned about like her culture, and I wanted to learn, and I was open-minded and I was all friendly. I opened my mouth, I asked her this question. I said, was it uncomfortable or awkward for you or hard for you to start wearing clothes when you came to the United States? I asked my African friend and classmate that. Was it hard for you to start wearing clothes when you moved to the United States? Man, she couldn't believe the question. She rolled her eyes. It didn't even deserve a response. She got up and walked away. Another story. I was at a Toastmasters meeting for public speaking, and I was in college, or I'd recently graduated, but I wanted to become a better public speaker. And in this meeting, it was in the Bay Area of California, mostly white people, some Asians, and there was one brother in the room, and he looked like he was from South Central, from Long Beach, like someone I'd known. Walked up to him, I said, hey man, what's up? The dude had this British accent. I said, man, where you from? He said, I'm from the UK. I said, man, I didn't even know they had brothers out there. Like, he looked at me with such disbelief, like there's no way this guy is this ignorant. And I'm like, what'd I say? I offended the dude, maybe just by my ignorance, maybe by the question, but I'm like, man, I ain't know there was no brothers in the UK. I cannot tell you how many times I have said something that's offensive. For years, I thought, okay, if you go to Africa, man, you about to see people out there starving, man. You about to see people with flies on their faces and eyeballs, you know, with the bloated stomachs. Where did I get that from? I got it from the media, from the shows I watched, from all of those Make-A-Wish or whatever telethons where they try to raise money for starving people in Africa. Man, I used to watch those and I'd be crying and stuff. And so it caused me to assume certain things about people in Africa and different places around the world. I can't tell you, man, I went to a reservation. I asked them, do you guys still live in teepees? I've done that so many times, bro. It's embarrassing, but these are true stories. And maybe you've had some stories like that, situations, experiences like that, that caused you to say something that was embarrassing or ignorant, and you didn't even know it. Put your foot in your mouth, didn't even know it. What I do know is travel opens your mind and broadens your perspective and really helps cure you from so much of your ignorance and even some of your racism. Throughout the last really 10, 15 years, well, even before that, since my wife and I began traveling, we've gone to places that have opened our eyes and broadened our perspectives. But specifically in 2018, we took our first trip to the motherland, to Africa. We flew into Ghana, and to be honest with you, we waited to go to Africa because we wanted our children to be strong enough and old enough to be able to run if a situation popped off. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, just in case something goes down, I want my baby girl to be able to run from these people. Like, that's what I was thinking, right? I'm being honest. Man, we get out there, and these people are so welcoming, so kind, so loving, so hospitable. They're hugging my children like they're their own. They're treating us like we're family. And although there is poverty, although we did see some people out there who were struggling, we saw some people who were barefoot, we saw people living in some difficult situations, but by no means was the vast majority of the people like struggling like that. Man, we in the city of Accra saw so many beautiful, educated, self-employed people doing well for themselves, speaking multiple languages, owning their own businesses. Man, people in the streets of Accra, I'm talking about entrepreneurs. This people had like these trays on top of their heads, right? Like with juices and gum and bananas and all kind of stuff on top of their heads, man. And just in the streets hustling, selling, making money. And it humbled us. It humbled me and opened my eyes to help me see how beautiful Africa is, how beautiful the people are, how ignorant I was about the continent of Africa. Same thing when we went to Kenya. Same thing when we went to Tanzania, to Uganda, Rwanda. Like, yes, there's poverty. But man, these people are doing amazingly well, and in many cases aren't even thinking about us in the United States. In Kenya, man, they had a dignity about them and a pride about them where, like, man, these folks were running their businesses. You can tell they'd been to school. They had this strength about them. They had this resilience about them that was beautiful. And it was wonderful just talking to people in Kenya. But we saw amazing people all over the continent, really, of Africa, in South Africa, in Zanzibar, just great people. And so travel has opened my mind and my eyes to the beauty and the diversity of the world, and has cured me from so much of my ignorance. Furthermore, you know, when I traveled to Europe, and we'd been to Australia, all over Europe, Western Europe, Japan, South America, Peru, Argentina, Chile, Rio, Brazil. We've been all over the world, and the traveling we've done has helped me see several things. In addition to not only my ignorance about Africa, helped me see that in many parts of the world, their quality of life is so much better than ours. Many of them don't live to work, they work to live. In Paris, in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal, in several places we've been, man, like, it's not just about working 80 hours a week and killing yourself and just trying to survive and trying to get ahead. No, man, it's like we're working to make just enough to enjoy our quality of life and to spend time with our family and friends, and to eat at cafes and just siesta and chill and really enjoy the people we love in our lives. I learned that family is so much more important in other countries than it is in the United States. In all over Africa, family's everything. And when I was Uganda, Kampala, and our tour guide, Arthur, was asking us about America, we asked the question, okay, in the United States you have opportunities, you can get education, you can get money, but you're also alone, and you're also experiencing, you know, ostracism and racism and all kinds of stuff. Would you rather have that or have a strong family? He didn't even flinch. He didn't even hesitate. He said family all day, every day. Health, peace of mind, and family. Family in Africa, family in Italy, family in Spain, in several parts of the world. We just saw the beauty of family and their desire to be together and to spend time together. I also have learned around the world, man, they usually have better, healthier food. So in the United States, we have all kinds of preservatives and chemicals and dyes in our food. In other parts of the world, man, the food is healthy, it's organic, it's natural, hasn't been injected or contaminated with all of these chemicals that are killing us. And so we've been in France these last couple weeks. In many of these places, man, the bread is fresher. They even have regulations on how the bread needs to be made, and you could be fined if it's not made the right way. You could be in trouble. You can get in trouble if it's not made a certain way. They have banned certain foods that are all over the United States. They have banned like dyes in their cereals, whereas in the United States we got, you know, people dying, getting cancer because of these chemicals put in like Frosted Flakes and Cheerios and Skittles. Out here, Kellogg's has like really produced cereals without the colors because the people out here in the country, leaders, demanded it. In the United States, we're just letting ourselves get killed by the FDA. You eat healthier around the world in many cases. They also have a healthier lifestyle. In Paris, there's bike lanes everywhere. In Amsterdam, there are bikes everywhere. In Venice, they don't even have cars, man. You walk around or you take boats. In several parts of the world, man, they're more active, and so they don't have as much obesity. They don't have several of the problems we in the West have, in the United States have, with regard to self-control and the sedentary lifestyles, man. You can see like they pride themselves on taking care of themselves. Here in Rio de Janeiro, man, it was amazing. People was working out normally when I was traveling, I would try to go work out in the morning, at least one day, 5 in the morning, I'll go jogging. I'm usually by myself or might see 1 or 2 other people. In Rio de Janeiro, man, there were hundreds of people, if not thousands, on the beach working out, getting it in. Like, they were in Rio, some of the most beautiful people we've ever seen, and the healthiest people we've ever seen. A gentleman told me it's a sin to get old in Rio. Like you got to take care of your body. Around the world, people aren't as materialistic in several parts of the world, man. We almost idolize material things in the United States, and we want to gather and accumulate all of this stuff. But around the world, like, there's more of a concern with quality of life and experiences and making memories and spending time with family, and that's tied to family, but it's this materialism in the West is pretty pervasive. So having said all of that, I will say this: the United States is amazing, and it's only in the United States where stories like mine can be made possible. Stories like mine of overcoming extreme poverty and obstacles, going to school and getting a free education and building the life that I have. And so I'm grateful for my country, grateful for the opportunities it has afforded me, grateful for the educators that blessed me and the people who poured into me and have blessed me with the life I have. And so I'm grateful for that, but my perspective has been broadened by traveling. And so my encouragement to you, if you're watching this, is travel. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Look around at some of the other videos. I just made another video on some of my favorite places in the world. Go watch that video. It's like an hour long, and I list out some of my favorite places. Go check that out. Step out of your comfort zone, man. You can budget. You can put some money aside, take a trip, man. You can stay within the state, in the United States, put a stamp in your passport, go to Mexico, go to Jamaica, go somewhere else. Watch the video and see the places I recommend. Open your mind, man. Be cured of your ignorance. One of the biggest problems in the United States is we're so self-centered, and even within our country, we live in these echo chambers around people who only agree with us, who share our values and our perspective. But you need to rub up against people who don't share your perspective, so you can become aware that your cultural universe is not culturally universal, and that your normal is not everyone else's normal, and that different does not necessarily mean deficient. Sometimes we look at differences as deficiencies, like my way is better, and we have this ethnocentricity about us. My way is better. It's not different, it's better. Man, humble yourself, step outside of your comfort zone, and go experience the world and meet new people. And you'll be surprised at how much your mind opens, your heart opens, and you'll make new friends, and you'll make some wonderful memories, and you'll laugh at yourself a lot. All right, I'm your friend, I'm your boy, Dr. Manny Scott. Thank you for watching. Be sure to look around, subscribe if this stuff interests you. I'm sharing a lot of stuff on wealth, on relationships, on service, as an educator, as a minister, as a speaker, and I might touch on some health here or there. All right, so look around. Welcome to my channel. I look forward to sharing more with you along the way. All right, talk to you soon. I'm out.